Good morning, Carmel Catholic. I'm Nadine Bushnack, and it's 8:03. Culture and Community Club will be meeting after school in room 206 on November 14th. The robotics team will compete in their first competition for the 2023-2024 season. TNT, Nyan, and N-Cubed will be putting their robots to the test in the Illinois Northeast Lake Meet 1 at Deerfield High School. Competing in Deerfield will be our very own Philip Krulov and his team, TNT. Liam Brown sits down with him now.
Thanks. Good morning, Carmel. We're here now with Philip Kruglow and CJ George. So, Philip, you're on TNT, and CJ, you're on N-Cubed?
Yep. Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, so the challenge has changed a little bit this year. What's the challenge now?
So the challenge now is kind of all over the place. We have to place pixels that are about half of an inch tall on a backdrop angled at probably,
60 degrees.
60 degrees. And if you bump it, they'll fall off, and then at the end we have to throw a paper airplane and lift our robot up.
Okay, so we know what the objective is this year. How has it changed from last year's objective?
So first of all, the robot now has to cross the whole field, which means we can run into other robots. We also have to be able to pick up very small pieces, unlike last year's where they were cones. And this year we also have to lift up the robot, which is something we haven't done in a while. It's not entirely fun, but it's not that difficult to do because the other two teams have done it.
All right, CJ, how well has the team worked together so far on the robot this year?
So this year we've worked together quite well. This is actually the earliest in my 3 years here that we've had the robot done. So we've worked together quite well. We've completed all of the challenges. I think a lot of that came down to following a very strict design process. So everything was done on time, and now we're just getting our drivers ready for the competition Sunday.
So, Philip, how do you and your team and TNT get the upper hand in the competition tomorrow or on Saturday?
On Sunday. So I think what will give us an upper hand is the fact that we have 3 teams here. We can practice with each other, and that means we have more experience on the field playing against each other and playing with each other. It also helps because it's a very chaotic game this year.
Okay, CJ, where is your first meet and when is it?
So the first meet is going to be Sunday. I believe competitions start at around noon or something like that at Deerfield High School.
All right, anything else, you guys? All right, okay, CDN will be right back.
Hi, I'm Olivia Bands, and today I'm here with Chris and Kristan, and we are here to talk about our NCAA Women's Volleyball Teams of the Week. So tell me, Krista, what's your Team of the Week?
My team of the week is the Nebraska Cornhuskers. In their most recent match on Saturday, Nebraska beat Wisconsin, and as a team had the drive and intensity needed to win. They were able to pull themselves out of their dip in the second and third sets with 44 hitting errors, and they were strongly led by their outside hitter, Merritt Beeson, who pushed her team and led their scoring efforts with 21 kills, 2 blocks, and an ace. So, Olivia, tell us about your team of the week.
My Team of the Week would have to be the Oregon Ducks. Despite the fact that they lost last weekend at Stanford with losing sets 3-1, I still think that their drive and competitiveness for that game was amazing. The reason that they still kept fighting for that game was because class 2025 setter Elise Ferreira, who always wants to make her team better and always wants to make her offense better. I think that the Oregon Ducks are a very respected team because they're the most competitive team I've ever seen before, and I think that's an amazing quality to have.
These were our Team of the Weeks. For CDN News, I'm Chris Kristan, and this is Olivia Vance.
Welcome back. It is 8:07. Today, again, we're going to have Carmel Today, just like we'll have every Thursday. It's a new little thing that Father Christian and I kind of cooked up. We are big PBS fans, so every Saturday at my house, and Sunday actually, you would walk into my house and you'll see PBS programs on. America's Test Kitchen, Jacques Pepin, Latino voices, Black voices. So we kind of wanted to do something that was a little informative, but also bring in a faith element. What are your thoughts on Carmel Today?
Yeah, I would say that for me personally, I remember Chicago Tonight.
Yes,
Mr.
absolutely.
Franklin. I remember it vividly. Bob Surratt, Phil Ponce.
Some names that people, some people might understand.
Folks. Yeah, and just to see their professionalism in journalism and reporting prowess. So it's really inspiring. It was a news show, but I do fondly remember it. And so we were thinking about Chicago Tonight, CT. Hey, what about Carmel Today?
Absolutely.
Also a CT acronym.
Yeah, absolutely. And bringing in kind of that reporting as well. Like, I've gotten subscriptions for students for New York Times and Washington Post. I'm trying to bring those elements into this program as well, so that kids can then go back and like maybe read those articles on their own as well. But there's also a Chicago Today, and you were telling me about this morning. It's kind of an interesting little thing, so it's a little bit more fun.
And here we're thinking about Chicago Tonight, but there is a Chicago Today, and I looked it up this morning. It's an affiliate of NBC, and the reporters, they go around, the premise of this show is they go around to different neighborhoods in Chicago, in the great city of Chicago, and also in suburban areas as well outside the city limits, just to cover and feature different aspects and elements of town.
Cool. And then they had a thing on Geneva, and I think it's a place I've actually been to before.
I've never been. It's called Nosh.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's according to the owner, it's a modern, urban, contemporary breakfast joint, and they serve breakfast and lunch. And it's located in Geneva, Illinois. So it's about an hour and 10 minutes away from Carmel.
And so kind of moving with what we're kind of trying to do here, we're kind of bringing in faith. How would faith go in with food? I mean, we talk about food, fellowship, and fun all the time. So
absolutely. And you know we love alliteration here at Carmel.
Yes, we do.
So I would say, even since primordial times, food has brought people together. Just look at the scriptures. There's a lot of images and stories of Jesus himself in the Gospels coming together, joining people to break bread for faith, fellowship, and even fun.
Yeah, and a little faith. Yeah.
And just something about, especially in the Jewish roots, when you're breaking bread with somebody, that shows really a sense of community, fraternity, and a sense of family.
Sure.
And so too for us as a church polity, as the body of Christ. When we break bread, we come together as a family intentionally. But when we think of the Eucharist, which is a table meal, it's not just any meal, but there with the Eucharist, the source and summit, that's a covenantal meal, a promise and pact with the person of Jesus.
Sure. And okay, so that's pretty much all the time we have for right now, but we look forward to kind of bringing this faith element into the current events. We'll be right back with Liam Brown in sports, and he has Coach Moore on to preview the NAS game.
Welcome back in for sports. We're going to start with the Bulls, who played a tough game in the loaded Suns roster with KD, Bradley Beal. Devin Booker was out, but they fell in overtime by a score of 116 to 115. And looking to some sports tonight, the Hawks travel to Tampa Bay to see the Lightning. They're going to be starting at 6 o'clock in Tampa. The Bears will play host to the Panthers tonight at Soldier Field, but Justin Fields will not be playing, and Tyson Bagent will start again. That's set to start at 7:15 on Amazon Prime Video. And this Saturday, the Corsairs look to take on the Nazareth Roadrunners, and now I'm joined by Coach Moore. So, Coach Moore, how's the defense grown from last season?
Let's see. We were talking about this the other day. We lost like one or two main contributors last year from the defense, so brought a lot of guys back. I think you guys saw that happen on Saturday, the result with that. Really just their football IQ continues to rise, and they continue to do the things that we ask them.
All right, so I did the math. The team's given up less than 12 points per game. How have they been able to execute during the games?
Again, I think that's all the kids against learning our terminology, our language from the coaches. The biggest difference this year is we talk to the kids about we like to hold them accountable, but they start holding each other accountable. And coming from their peers, it tends to mean a little more, and I think you see the result on the field.
Yeah, so tough team in Naz this week. What's the game plan for another stellar performance?
So Nazareth quarterback, probably the best kid we've seen all year. We got to find ways to limit his ability to extend plays. I think we have a good game plan going in. And, I mean, we're excited for what we're going to be able to get done on Saturday.
All right, they're going to start at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to have a pregame show at 1 o'clock. Have a thankful Thursday, Carmel.